Lesson 1. Horror Films. Welcome to the first lesson for English for You Level 3. My name is Chris. If you saw Levels 1 and 2, you might remember me as Sam. Well, we have 3 new assistants for this level. Let's get them to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Monica. I'm from Poland. I'm 22 years old. I love skiing and cooking.
Thank you, Monica.
Hi, my name is Luis. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Portugal and I like football very much.
Thank you, Luis.
Okay, I'm Rosa. I'm from Mexico. I'm 20 years old. I love to dance and listen to music.
Okay, thank you, our new assistants. Well, first we must learn some new vocabulary. Today's subject is horror films. These are films that make us scared or frighten us. A ghost. A ghost. A ghost is a spirit of a dead person. Some people think they can see ghosts, and they usually live in haunted houses. A monster. A monster is a large, frightening creature. It is usually imaginary. Frankenstein is a monster. A vampire. A vampire is a bad kind of monster that drinks people's blood. Vampires don't like garlic, the sun, or crosses, and vampires can change into bats. A witch. Now, a witch is a woman who has magic powers and she uses them to do bad things to people. She usually rides on a broom and she can make magic drinks which are called potions. A werewolf. A werewolf is a man who can turn into a wolf. A séance. A séance is a meeting where people try to talk to ghosts. A cemetery. A cemetery. A cemetery is a place where dead people are buried. So let's go over these once again. We have a ghost, a monster, a vampire, a witch, a werewolf, a séance, and a cemetery. Well, today we're going to review verb tenses. We'll review the verb tenses we learnt in levels 1 and 2. And these verb tenses are the simple present, present continuous, will, going to, simple past, past continuous, and present perfect. Let's start with the simple present. I always go to horror films. I always go to horror films. A witch rides a broom. A witch rides a broom. John believes in ghosts. John believes in ghosts. So the present simple describes events which happen regularly. So I always go to horror films. The simple present makes statements of fact. A witch rides a broom, or Saturday comes after Friday. And we can also use the present simple to express an opinion. John believes in ghosts. My favourite game is rugby. The negative of the present simple is I don't always go to horror films? I don't always go to horror films. A witch doesn't ride a broom. A witch doesn't ride a broom. And John doesn't believe in ghosts. John doesn't believe in ghosts. And just notice that the third person, John, it's not believes. It's John doesn't believe. Yes, no questions using the simple present can begin with do or does. Let's just clean the board. Do you always go to horror films? Do you always go to horror films? Does a witch ride a broom? Does a witch ride a broom? Does John believe in ghosts? Does John believe in ghosts? And again, remember, third person, so he or John, here is the S, not believes. No. Does John believe in ghosts? Well, let's practice these. Rosa, do you believe in ghosts?
Don't be silly, there aren't any ghosts.
Really? Okay, Monica, how often do you watch horror films?
I often watch horror films. I like them very much. They're exciting.
Thank you. Lewis, does a vampire like the sun?
No, he doesn't. He sleeps when it's sunny. He is awake at night.
Good job. Now it's time to look and listen. Look and listen. Marie loves to wear a werewolf costume on Halloween. Ken thinks there is a ghost under his bed. Raymond never goes to the cinema if there is a horror film playing. Casper is a friendly ghost. Read and repeat. Now let's review the present continuous. This is also called the present progressive. Here are some examples. The witch is riding the broom. Dracula is playing at that theatre next week. The boys are walking in the cemetery. The mad scientist is making a monster. The witch is riding a broom. Dracula is playing at that theatre next week. The boys are walking in the cemetery. And the mad scientist is making a monster. So the present continuous can describe actions that are taking place at the moment or right now. For example, the mad scientist is making a monster. He's making the monster now. They can also be used to describe activities in the future. Dracula is playing at the theatre next week. Next week is in the future, so this tells us about the future. The negative forms are the witch isn't riding a broom, and the boys aren't walking in the cemetery. The witch isn't riding a broom. The boys aren't walking in the cemetery. Now remember, some verbs called non-action or stative verbs are rarely used in the present continuous. We don't usually use them. Some of these verbs are, from over here, to love. So we don't usually say I am loving, we just say I love. To feel. Again, we don't say I am feeling, just I feel. Another example is to need. So to need, for example, I need a drink of water. Okay, let's practice some of these. Lewis, can you look at this picture and tell me a sentence about it?
Okay. Frankenstein is lying on a bed.
Wonderful. Rosa, can you give me another sentence?
Sure, Frankenstein isn't running.
That's good. Monica, another sentence?
The people are looking at Frankenstein.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Now it's looking and listening time. Look and listen. The monster is chasing the dog. Those people aren't going to the horror film tonight. The witch is making a potion. Lana is sitting in front of the theatre because she loves horror films. Read and repeat. And now let's review the future tense. I will go to the horror film with you tomorrow. Jim is going to draw a picture of a witch. The vampire won't wake up during the day. Dracula is going to change into a bat. I will go to the horror film with you tomorrow. Jim is going to draw a picture of a witch. That should be a picture, but I did it so quickly. The vampire won't wake up during the day, and Dracula is going to change into a bat. There are two forms for the future tense. The first one is to be and going to. To be and going to. So here we have Jim is going to. And we use this to make plans or just in general conversation. Future plan or intention. And we usually use this when we speak. The negative form is not going to. Jim isn't going to draw a picture of a witch. The second form is will. We use will for offers, predictions, promises, and requests. So here we have I will go. So if it's she will go, not she will goes. She will go. I will go, you will go, she will go. Now often will and going to are interchangeable. We can use going to or will. The negative form of will is won't. The vampire won't wake up during the day. Let's practice. Lewis, what are your plans for tonight?
I'm going to go to the new horror film. It will be very scary. Will you come with me?
No thanks, Lewis. I'll probably be busy. Rosa, what are your plans for this weekend?
Well, I'm going to help my brother make a costume. He's going to be a werewolf at his school's costume party.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Good. And Monica, what are you going to do tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I know I won't go to the new horror film. I don't like it.
No, I don't think I'll go to that either. Okay, thanks everyone. Now it's time to look and listen. Look and listen. The man will change into a werewolf at midnight. Dracula won't wake up until nighttime. Paul is going to rent a horror film video. The witches are going to meet in the cemetery. Read and repeat. And now let's talk about the simple past. Here's an interesting one. Frankenstein ate the dog. And Dracula drank the blood. And the horror film started at 8 o'clock. The witch didn't make a new poison. Frankenstein ate the dog. Dracula drank the blood. The horror film started at 8. The witch didn't make a new poison. So the simple past describes actions or situations that began and ended in the past. Here we are. Didn't is used before the main verb to make a negative in the simple past, and often a time expression like last year, yesterday, last week, 2 days ago is used with the simple past. Frankenstein ate the dog yesterday, for example. Now many verbs end in ed in the past form. You can have, for example, over here. Walk, simple present. Walked, simple past. Jump, simple present. Jumped, simple past. However, there are many irregular forms. Here's one here. What's the regular form of ate, Lewis?
Eat.
Eat, that's right. So we have eat, simple present, becomes ate, simple past. And we have another one. For example, hide. What would the simple past be, Monica?
Hid.
Hid, correct. And another one is break. So, Rosa, your turn. What's the simple past?
Broke.
Broke. Excellent. Okay, now these are only 3 irregular verbs, and there are many irregular verbs. So when you learn a new verb, you have to remember to find out if it's regular or if it's irregular. Okay, let's practice some of these now. Okay, Rosa, did you see A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes, I saw it many years ago. I liked it very much, but my sister didn't like it.
Good. Monica, did you like that film?
No, I hated it. I went with my boyfriend. He thought it was wonderful. It was too bloody.
Yeah, I agree. Lewis, do you often go to horror films?
I went to one last year. My father came with me. My mother didn't want to come.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, everyone. Now it's time to look and listen. Look and listen. The witches flew over my house last night. The monster broke the man's arm. The horror film finished at 11 o'clock. The video store didn't rent the horror film to the little boy. Read and repeat. We can now review the past continuous. I was watching the horror film on TV. The monster was screaming. Julie was renting a horror film while her mother was at home. And Frankenstein was running from the angry people. I was watching the horror film on TV. The monster was screaming. Julie was renting a horror film while her mother was at home. Frankenstein was running from the angry people. Now the past continuous describes an action or an activity that was happening in the recent past. It was in progress in the recent past, at a specific time in the past, or during a period of time in the past. The form is was or were plus verb ing. So I was, but we were watching. The negative form is wasn't or weren't. Let's put that on the board as well. For example, we could say I wasn't watching the horror film on TV, and we weren't watching the horror film on TV. Okay, let's practice this part. Monica, what were you doing last night at 10 o'clock?
I was sitting in my room because I was angry. My brother was watching a horror film and I wanted to watch a comedy film.
I see. Lewis, what were you doing?
I was reading the book Dracula by Bram Stoker. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I like that book too. Rosa, what were you doing this morning at 8 o'clock?
This morning I was sleeping. I had a nightmare last night. It was about a ghost. I didn't sleep very well.
I'm sorry to hear that, Rosa. I hate nightmares too. Thank you, everybody. Now it's time to look and listen. Look and listen. The ghosts were walking in the cemetery. The monster was chasing the people. The witch was mixing the love poison. And the teenagers weren't watching the horror film. Read and repeat. The last tense we will review today is the present perfect. The vampires have started to wake up. The bats have lived in that castle for 10 years. The ghost has just flown away. I haven't been to the cemetery in 3 years. The present perfect tense can describe actions that occurred at an unspecified time in the past. We don't know when exactly. It can also be used to describe repeated actions, and the form is has or have plus the past participle. Sometimes also called verb 3. You have verb 1 start, verb 2 started. This is a regular verb, so verb 3 is started. The negative form is haven't or hasn't plus past participle. For example, haven't been or hasn't. It's an N, hasn't. Now there are some adverbs which we use frequently with the present perfect. Already, just, and recently refer to actions or situations that occurred at an unspecified time in the past. Here we have one. A ghost has just flown away. A short time in the past. Ever, never, still, and yet refer to past actions or situations that also include the present. Do we have one there? No, we don't. Well, let's practice the present perfect tense. Rosa, what do you think about the film Frankenstein?
I have seen it many times. I love it. I like the part where Frankenstein meets the little girl near the lake.
That's a sad part.
Yeah.
Lewis, Have you seen the film Frankenstein?
I haven't watched it in a long time. Frankenstein is a very ugly man. He looks like a friend of mine.
That's funny. Monica, I know you don't like horror films. What kind of films do you like?
I haven't been to a film for a long time. I think the last film I saw was Titanic. I guess I like romantic films.
I liked that film too. Okay, thank you everybody. And now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
The vampire has just left the castle. We haven't seen Halloween yet. The ghost has already gone back to the haunted house. Dracula hasn't opened his coffin yet.
Read and repeat. Review.
Let's do some exercises now. Okay, this is easy. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate form of the present tense. Lewis, you go first. A witch. A broom.
That's easy. A witch rides a broom.
Excellent. A witch rides a broom. Excellent. Now you, Rosa. A vampire, the sun. A vampire, the sun.
A vampire doesn't like the sun.
Excellent. A vampire doesn't like the sun. Good. The last one is for you, Monica. Frankenstein always slowly. Frankenstein always slowly.
Simple. Frankenstein always walks slowly.
Good job. Frankenstein always walks slowly. Thank you. Now let's do some exercises using the present continuous. Monica, you tell us 2 sentences. Use the present continuous, and your topic can be vampires. Lewis, you do the same, and you can use ghosts as your topic. And Rosa, can you give me 2 sentences using the present continuous? Your topic can be witches.
All right.
Okay, Monica, you first. What are your 2 sentences?
Here you are. Dracula is sleeping in his coffin, and the vampire is changing into a bat.
Very good. Lewis, let's hear yours.
Casper is always smiling. The bad ghost is living in that house.
Excellent. Rosa, how about your sentences?
The witches are flying on their brooms. The witch isn't wearing a hat.
Okay, great job everybody. Now let's do an exercise using will or going to. So, like these exercises, we'll fill in the blanks with will or going to. Rosa, you do this one. I go to the horror film with my sister. I promised her. I go to the horror film with my sister. I promised her.
I will go to the horror film with my sister. I promised her.
Good. Will. Monica, this one is for you. Henry to go to the horror film tonight. Henry to go to the horror film tonight.
Henry is going to go to the horror film tonight.
Very good. Henry is going to go to the horror film tonight. Lewis, you do the last one. Something, you come with me to the cemetery tonight.
Let me see. That's a request. So, will you come with me to the cemetery tonight?
Excellent. Will you come with me to the cemetery tonight? Interesting question. Great. Good job, everybody. Now let's review the past and the past continuous in one exercise. Okay, same idea. Let's just clean the board. Fill in the blanks with the simple past or the past continuous. Now answer the question. Lewis, let's put these on the board for you. What, something, the, which, something, 2 hours ago, question. What do you think the answer is, Lewis?
What was the witch doing 2 hours ago?
Excellent. What was the witch doing 2 hours ago?
The witch was buying a new broom.
Very funny. Yeah. Okay, Rosa, you do this one. A ghost. Something. A ghost. I think you're crazy. Where?
A ghost. I didn't see a ghost. I think you are crazy. Where?
Excellent. A ghost. I didn't see a ghost. I think you're crazy. Where? Okay, very good. Monica, you can do the last one. Frankenstein. Something, a very scary film. Something you afraid?
Frankenstein was a very scary film. Were you afraid?
Good. I don't know. I don't like horror films. You afraid? Frankenstein. Oh, that's a capital. Were you afraid? Excellent. Thank you, everyone. And now, here's an exercise with the present perfect. Same idea again. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the present perfect tense. Monica, you can do one first. The ghosts, something, use the verb be. The ghosts, something, in the haunted house for 10 minutes.
Ghosts have been in the haunted house for 10 minutes.
Excellent. The ghosts have been in the haunted house for 10 minutes. Okay, Lewis, your turn. The vampires, something, we're going to use the verb drink. Remember, we're using the past participle. The vampires, something, the blood.
The vampires have drunk the blood.
Delicious. Have drunk the blood. Okay, here's yours, Rosa. The bats, and we'll use the verb not leave. So it's a negative sentence. Not leave the castle yet. What do you think it is, Rosa?
The bats haven't left the castle yet.
Excellent job, Rosa. The bats haven't left the castle yet. Is this a regular verb or an irregular verb? It's irregular. Good. Thank you, everybody. Now let's do one more exercise for today. This time, same idea. Fill in the blanks. This time, use one of the tenses that we have reviewed today. Okay, Let's go first. Rosa, I've got one for you. The bats, something over the castle, and this word can help you. Yesterday. The bats, something over the castle yesterday.
All right. As there is yesterday, we will use simple past. The bats flew over the castle yesterday.
Excellent. The bats flew over the castle yesterday. Okay. You can also say the bats were flying over the castle yesterday. Okay, Lewis, you can do this one. Something, something to the horror film with me tomorrow. Something to the horror film with me tomorrow.
Will you go to the horror film with me tomorrow?
Good. Will you go to the horror film? Wonderful job, Lewis. Monica, last one is for you. Something, the new horror film yet. Another question.
Have you seen the new horror film yet?
Good. Have you seen the new horror film yet? Great job, everybody. Thank you very much. Now it's time to listen and write.
Listen and write.
Listen and write these sentences. Number 1. Witches are ugly people. Number 2. The monster doesn't have 2 arms. Number 3. We are going to see the new horror film tomorrow. Number 4. Ellen thinks it will be very scary. Number 5. Look, the vampire is waking up. Number 6. The mad scientist has created a new monster. Number 7. Kevin wore a Dracula costume to the Halloween party. Number 8. The werewolves were howling at the moon. Number 9. We haven't seen that horror film yet. And number 10. The ghost wasn't very friendly. Now check your work. Number 1. Witches are ugly people. Number 2. The monster doesn't have 2 arms. Number 3. We are going to see the new horror film tomorrow. Number 4. Ellen thinks it will be very scary. Number 5. Look, the vampire is waking up. Number 6. The mad scientist has created a new monster. Number 7. Kevin wore a Dracula costume to the Halloween party. Number 8. The werewolves were howling at the moon. Number 9, we haven't seen that horror film yet. And number 10, the ghost wasn't very friendly. Now, read the story and answer the questions.
Read and answer.
Lou is a doctor. He has been a doctor for 10 years. He still lives in the same house. He has lived in that house since he was a boy. He doesn't want to move. There is a haunted house next door. Lou's hobby is the study of ghosts. When Lou was a child, he didn't believe in ghosts. One day, he was playing baseball with his friends. His brother threw a ball and it broke a window in the house next door. When Lou went to get the ball, he saw a ghost. It was standing in the hallway. Lou wasn't afraid. It was a friendly ghost. Lou went to the house again the next day. Soon, Lou and the ghost were friends. Lou has gone back to that house hundreds of times since that first day. He has met many other ghosts in that house. They are all friendly. He has bought many books about ghosts, and next year he hopes he will go to Europe. He is going to visit Transylvania. Now answer the questions about the reading. Number 1. How long has Lou been a doctor? Number 2. How long has Lou lived in the same house? Number 3. What is Lou's hobby? Number 4. Did Lou believe in ghosts when he was a child? Number 5. What did Lou's brother throw through the window? Number 6. What did Lou see in the hallway? Number 7. Why wasn't Lou afraid? Number 8. How many times has Lou gone back to the house? Number 9. Are all the ghosts in the house friendly? Number 10. Where is Lou going to go next year? Now check your work. Number 1. How long has Lou been a doctor? He has been a doctor for 10 years. Number 2. How long has Lou lived in the same house? He has lived in the same house since he was a boy. Number 3. What is Lou's hobby? Studying ghosts is Lou's hobby. Number 4. Did Lou believe in ghosts when he was a child? No, he didn't. Number 5. What did Lou's brother throw through the window? He threw a ball through the window. Number 6. What did Lou see in the hallway? Lou saw a ghost in the hallway. Number 7. Why wasn't Lou afraid? It was a friendly ghost. Number 8. How many times has Lou gone back to that house? Lou has gone back to the house hundreds of times. Number 9. Are all the ghosts in the house friendly? Yes, they are. Number 10. Where is Lou going to go next year? He wants to go to Europe and visit Transylvania. Okay, everybody, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Practicing English.
Okay, so my students are reading about this holiday that you have in North America called Halloween. Well, we don't celebrate that, so I didn't know how to answer their questions. They talked about wearing costumes, monsters, and stuff like that. You guys, help!
Tarek, do you mean you don't know anything about the best and most fun holiday ever?
No, really, I don't know about it at all.
Well, it's a really great holiday that involves a lot of fun and scary things for kids and adults too.
Tell me more.
Well, on October 31st, kids and young people dress up in scary or funny costumes and go from door to door in their neighbourhoods and show their neighbours their costumes.
Uh-huh. What else happens?
Well, the kids say trick or treat, and the neighbours give them chocolate or candy, which the kids collect all night from all the houses they go to.
So the kids dress up like monsters, like Dracula, werewolves, mummies and ghosts, stuff like that?
Yeah, and don't forget, there's also pirates, witches, superheroes, and fairy princesses.
David, Monica, you guys are from North America too. Did you do that as well when you were kids?
Of course. Halloween is great fun. I love dressing up and collecting big piles of chocolate and candy from my neighbors.
What about you, Monica?
Sure, Halloween's my favorite holiday. I have a bunch of pictures of all these costumes I wore when I was a kid.
Okay, I'm getting it now. Carrie, you said adults like this holiday too. What do they do?
Well, many adults have parties too, and they enjoy the dressing up part of the holiday. Of course, the costumes are different, and the parties can be really fun, as the adults can get really creative about what they wear.
Hey, this is October, and this Halloween thing is coming up on the 31st, right?
Yeah.
Well, what will you do for this Halloween?
Well, I like to start Halloween off by watching a lot of scary movies. You know, really scary movies like The Exorcist, The Sixth Sense, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and The Blair Witch Project.
David, what do you do for Halloween?
I like to watch horror films too, but year-round, not just on Halloween. In fact, I think there's a new horror film opening this weekend, and I'll probably see it on Saturday night after I teach.
And for Halloween?
Well, since I have a lot of scary movies, I've recorded a lot of those screams on a cassette tape, and I play them at my front door all night. It's really scary, and it annoys the neighbors a lot.
I see. Well, Monica, what about you?
Well, back home in Boston, we really enjoy Halloween, both kids and adults. Before the holiday, I think about the most outrageous costume I could wear. One year I went as a snowman, and the next year I went as the mad scientist. And the following year, I went as Cruella de Vil. You know, from the Disney movie, 101 Dalmatians.
Okay, this Halloween seems like it could be fun no matter what country you come from. I think I'll rent some of these movies you guys have mentioned and think about what I can tell my class tomorrow about Halloween. Hey, what do you think of this idea? On October 31st, we could all have a Halloween party in my class. And we could all dress as characters and wear costumes and eat chocolate.
Let's do it.
Sounds
Let's do
great.
it. Yeah.
I want to be a table.